everyone? This is Igor, the GOAT Wine Merchant. I have two special guests with me. George from Wine by the Bay TV, and he has also a coffee channel, and I have special guest Cliff. And today's episode, we're going to discuss something fun, I think. The top boxers of all time. All of us came out with a list of top 5 boxers. We haven't revealed to each other, so we're gonna debate a little. So this should be a really fun episode. You can guys call me a pretty boy Ivanov for this episode.
No. Do you have a ring name too?
No, actually.
What with me?
You want a ring name for him?
Well,
What's the ring name?
Well, you got YouTube sensation over here, the Whiz Kid.
YouTube sensation.
So okay, so let's get this started, guys. I think one thing is not debatable: that I'm the GOAT Wine Merchant, right?
Yeah, I'm in with that.
Yes, but the top boxers, that will be debatable. I have my list. We haven't revealed the list yet, so I have some controversy on my list. I hope you guys do as well. So we're also drinking Chateau Neuf-Du-Pape from Lucien Barrot. This comes from the 2016 vintage, one of the great vintages of the last decade. I got 94 points from wine enthusiasts. So George, please pour us as we're discuss. I think there's nothing more fun to do is to drink a great wine and talk about sports, in this case boxing.
Alright, I guess I pour last because I'm more important, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright guys, so let me tell you kind of thoughts. So how I came up with the list. So there's a lot of great boxers, so it's obviously it's a tough list to come up with. So I had like 3 categories. The first category, I look at kind of defensive wizards, like Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker or Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. The second list I have is like the tough guys. We're talking about like Manny Pacquiao, Evander the Real Deal Holyfield.
Hey. Did you just say tough guy and Manny Pacquiao?
Well,
he's like 130 pounds.
Tough guy, for his weight class.
What are you doing over here?
For his weight class, I think he is.
I think he's arguably, one of the best pound for pound fighters.
Oh, we're gonna go pound for pound now.
Well, it's all time.
That's
it's kind of hard.
Okay. I'm gonna be the outlier. I have a feeling. I'm going at pretty much everyweight all the way around.
No. I have, I'm going pound for pound. I'm
okay,
yeah. So I think toughness. You know what? I look at toughness. I look at toughness as basically they'll fight anyone, anytime, any place. Those are the guys. And then I have the list. They're kind of like guys looking for a challenge, and also they're like very intelligent, cerebral fighters. I could only think of 3, and they're definitely all 3 made my list. And to me, they're the ultimate boxers. So that's kind of the concept how I came up with.
Not the very businessy side of boxing that we see right now. Just people that would fight anybody, that are entertaining, and I understand some people like the sweet science of boxing. I could care less about that. I just want an entertaining fight. I want people that just go there. It's boxing, and that regularly gives the fans a really great show.
And I hope you guys didn't put Apollo Creed on the list, right? We're talking about real boxers.
Oh shit, real boxers? Damn it! Bye bye Rocky. Bye bye Apollo. Oh well, whatever.
Well, what about you, George? What was your methodology?
I went with big dudes for the most part. I'm kind of big myself.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of the 105-pound boxer. I'm sorry, they'll probably kick my ass, but I'm still, I want to see somebody that's got to move some weight around.
Well,
put somebody on the floor.
Fair enough. That's your top 5 list. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of the fighters like Jack Johnson. I was reading, he was a fantastic fighter, and when he lost his fight, he was in his late 30s, and he lost in the 26th round. So that's obviously fights don't go 26 rounds nowadays.
Exactly.
So that was quite a battle. So I haven't seen him. I've seen old footage, but I can't really put that on the list. However, I didn't put number 5 on the list. Somebody I haven't seen either. Joe Brown Bomber Lewis, the great heavyweight in the late 30s and 40s. The reason I put him on the list is because in the movie, he beat up in a rematch Max Schmeling, and Max Schmeling was the great German fighter, and I think he defeated Hitler, and he turned the tide of World War II at that point. So I think that was the great Joe Louis, USA. That's my number 5 list. What do you guys think?
I had Joe Louis on my list actually.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have to agree with you on that.
All right.
I didn't have him for the same reasons. I had him from a pure boxing perspective, that he had such a great career, and he was champ for what, 12 or 13 years before he was defeated. So I just felt like from a longevity standpoint.
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned it because Max Schmeling actually defeated him in the first fight. It's the rematch that he defeated Max Schmeling.
Yeah, now that you mention that, I
he's not on my list, but I'm not gonna contest that. That arguably he could be on someone's top 5 list.
Joe Louis was a tough guy.
Joe Louis is, you know, of that era.
Yeah,
they're really tough, right? They're fighting
for sure.
I don't know, like.
Well, they're not fighting for money, obviously.
Right, and they're fighting a lot in a year.
Yeah.
Right, not like now. You'll be lucky if you find if they fight twice a year.
Yeah.
Number 5, I'd have to go with. I had to think about. I need to have a Mexican fighter.
Okay.
Just because of the Mexican style boxing, it's really entertaining. Just no running around and tap run around Floyd Mayweather style.
Yes.
None of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Julio Ceasar Chaves.
Ooh.
That's a great one.
Yes.
Great one.
I was debating him. He's not on my top 5, but he's a great one. And he had a tremendous record until I think the very end. He lost maybe one of his last fights, if not the last fight of his career.
Yeah, but it's like in one of those. I don't like. Even if you lose the O, it's not. Is it important? I don't know. I mean, that's a Floyd Mayweather type thing that he developed, and like now people are protecting the O and not fighting each other. But like back in the days, I think before he got exposure through like mass media, like the broadcast TV, I think it was like 30 some odd and O, and then he won like 40 something some odd fights in a row again. A lot of knockouts, just exciting fights.
Did he fight in the Olympics?
I don't know.
We'll look that up. You're gonna leave a comment, a little thing in the comment section?
Yes.
Let them know what's up. Okay, so we'll look that up. We'll leave a comment. We'll comment down below. Actually, maybe they should let us know, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, by the way, make sure when you hear our top 5 list, agree, disagree, add, subtract, do whatever. Put comments in the comment section and let us know where we went wrong, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Well, you probably will never go wrong.
It's kind of tough also, like some guy that's fought, I don't know, 90 times or more, like to try and remember like what are the great fights that that I remember watching. It's just really tough. But anyway, I think that it was a tough. It was Julio Ceasar Chaves or Canelo, but after the Bivol fight, I was like, I don't know about Canelo. I think Julio Ceasar Chaves still up there. And
do you give more weight to the older boxers because there was more athletes going into boxing, 30 years ago, as opposed to now? Because of the, the head trauma thing. Like a lot of people are choosing other sports.
Yeah, I mean it's part. Well, I guess that could be a cause for why it doesn't. The action isn't as great now. But then there's really kind of no excuse for all these promoters and boxers just not wanting to fight each other, waiting till like some really good guy is past his prime, and then okay, now we can go fight. Yeah, you can't leave it to the judges. So if that, and maybe that's why you can't stop it at 12 rounds. You just gotta go till some guy gets knocked out. Then you don't leave it to the judges.
That's true.
No.
Plus they have the stingers, right? The barbed wire.
Well, yeah, now you're talking about. My lord. I'll get a brick and smack you in the mouth and see how that goes. That's crazy.
So you have so you want to pay you're looking at categories too, and you're thinking, all right, who's the best in this category? So you kind of have a rhyme and reason to your selection as well.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, but not as systematic as yours.
All right, so Joe Louis wasn't my number 5. Sugar Ray Leonard, number 5. And I know I just said 2 minutes ago that I'm doing bigger guys, but Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't small. He wasn't 115 pounds. He was, welterweight. What is it, 175?
Yes.
Is that about the?
He went up to lightweight.
And he went up one weight class too, right? Yeah, as he got older. So I just think in terms of power and finesse, and fighting all comers. Again, that was still the 70s and 80s. You had the Hitman. You had Marvelous Marvin Hagler,
Roberto Duran,
all in his division. He fought all those guys, And I just feel like at that time, like that middleweight, welterweight, light heavyweight division, like they kept going up and down. Like it was very competitive, and I thought that he was like a good blend of pretty much like the best blended fighter.
The facts. He's number 3 on my list, and the category I was telling you, tough guys and intelligent, kind of cerebral guys. He's the first one, so he's number 3 on my list, and he's the first of those guys. Okay. To me, he found a way to beat guys who are bigger than him, or if he was bigger, he would adjust his fighting style. But the cerebral guys, to me, those are the great boxers, because they're able to adjust, you know, probably prior to the fight, but frequently during the fight as well. So yeah, number 3 on my list. And
I don't have him on my list, but you know, again, that's one of those other choices. If you only had 5, it's kind of tough to fit in. But
yeah, that's
you know,
the problem. You got like 150 years of boxing. You got to boil down, and multiple weight classes too. That's a tough one.
Number 4.
All right.
So why the guy's number 4 is because he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard. That's Marvin Hagler. And you know what? I think with personality, I might even like Marvin Hagler more. But to me, he was the ultimate tough guy. He was the guy. He'll start out punching you nonstop with the Hearns, right?
Yeah.
Some people say that's the greatest first round ever, right?
Yeah.
And they were just punching him. So he's the ultimate tough guy, but Sugar Ray Leonard figured out how to beat him. The ultimate tough guy. That's why he's number 4 on my list, and Sugar Ray's number 3 on my list.
What do you think? What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Manny Pacquiao.
Okay.
You know, it's incredible for, I don't know what he started off with, like whatever weight class that is.
Is he president of Manila now? Like,
no, he lost.
Oh, he's a senator.
He was a senator. He ran for president and lost.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
But you know, it's as we started out, he just fights all comers, right? Bigger than him.
Yes.
Only 8 division champion. He's also, and this one I learned, I guess, after Googling. He's the only, I guess it's the 5 weight class, like a lineal champion in 5 weight classes. He's the only one. I mean, these records, I mean, it's just incredible for, like, you know, how even if to go from whatever it is, I forgot what we started at the end of, like, what, 147? Yeah. Just took on all comers. Good, you know, like the Ricky Hatton fight was incredible. The four fights with Marquez.
Yes.
The reason why I left him and, frankly, Floyd Mayweather is because I felt like their fight, they deliberately held off for maybe 3 or 4 years.
Floyd did.
Like really,
Floyd did.
Well, somebody did.
Yeah, Floyd did.
Yeah. And they lose points for me on that, you know?
Yeah, I think that one was Floyd. I don't think anybody would question the, you know, and plus Floyd's like a much bigger guy. Naturally much bigger guy. And so, you know, you kind of wait around 3-4 years, wait for, you know, the other guy to be older also.
Yeah, slow him down a little bit.
Slow him down a little bit. Yeah. And then, you know, you impose on your size because he's a much bigger person rather than this guy that started, you know, this little skinny dude going all the way to 147.
Yeah.
And,
that's the reason, you know, I couldn't put Floyd. You know, I like Floyd. The defensive, he's a defensive genius. I mean, no doubt about that.
Excellent fighter.
Yeah,
excellent fighter.
But because of the Pacquiao thing, and you know, honestly, you mentioned that earlier about the O record. I look at it the other way. To me, that's a negative. Even to a certain degree.
You're picking people. Yeah.
No, not you're picking people. I think one of the great about if you're a great boxer or not, you have to lose and you have to see how you come back. If you we never see how Floyd came back after a loss. He never lost.
Yeah,
it would have been great to see him come back after a loss.
I go pay to you know, like just to watch to try and see if he actually will lose, rather than to watch him fight. Because, you know, who really goes there and that's gonna have a lot of real comments there. So I'm gonna go take that back.
Yeah, no, don't take it. It's committed now. Now you have to deal with the
I hear you, but
he's fighting MMA guys and YouTubers at this point.
Isn't he fighting YouTubers now?
Yeah, isn't there a YouTube boxing?
No, I think he did fight. Is it one of the Paul guys?
Yeah, one of the Pauls. Yes.
Yeah, I do remember. All right, well, you know what?
Yes.
That brings me to my number 4.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to get shit from you and from you because My guy didn't lose, and that's Rocky Marciano.
Okay, well.
And that's why I put him on. Heavyweight, he retired 49-0. 49-0?
49-0.
Yes.
49-0 with the belt, undefeated, heavyweight division, smaller guy, at a time when, like you said, there were a lot of tough guys.
I don't think he was ducking people, though.
No, but I think he got out before his skills deteriorated. He wanted to finish on top.
Yeah, I guess he only had 49 fights. Back then, you should have like 200.
Yeah, exactly. Like you see some of his contemporaries, 139-4 or whatever. Yeah. I mean, so he loses some points for that. But the fact that he was a little undersized and fought in that era and was undefeated, left on top with the belt, I think that's impressive.
And beat Joe Louis.
Yeah, I know.
But
he beat Joe Louis towards the end, though.
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I would have liked to see that fight again 5 years earlier.
A lot of these fighters, they have that age difference that you're like, man, if they were both in the prime, that would have been great. But it doesn't really happen all the time.
Yeah, it's the Michael Jordan, LeBron James thing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Michael's better.
For the next episode. Save for the next episode. Come on. Come on. That's a teaser. That's a teaser.
The comments are
the comments are going to go wild.
That's a teaser.
Give me some shit if you don't agree in the comments section below.
You millennials.
All right, what are you at number 3 now?
Did you have number 3 for you?
I did number 4.
You guys know number 3.
Oh, who's number 3 again?
Sugar Ray.
That's
Leonard.
right. Sugar Ray Leonard's number 3. All right, you're up. Number 3.
Number 3, Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Mike Tyson.
Mike
Good
Tyson.
choice.
I don't know why you need an introduction for Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but why number 3 and not number 1?
Well, why number 3?
Yeah.
He's a really great boxer.
Yeah.
But it's just like real pure box, right? Like I think my 1 and 2 slightly better in terms of like just overall body. Like, and this isn't at their primes, not like Mike Tyson after he came back.
Yes.
So you're not doing the totality of his career. You're doing at the
right
highlight.
at the right because there's a lot of people like that would come back after they retire and all that. And they're older.
That's when the antics start.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then they lose, and then now they end up with these records that look like, oh, well, you have 15 losses, right? But and so I think you gotta, at least the way I looked at it is just looking at, their fights went until they were, or at the prime of their career, and how good were these people?
Oh, Mike Tyson in his prime was scary. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. Like he was the first kind of got me interested in the boxing. Just looking at it's literally just seek and destroy. Very exciting fights. It could be done in a few seconds. Yeah, so that's why Iron Mike is number 3 on my list. So what do you guys think?
Well, I know so far we've been debating like 3 old English ladies, but I think the gloves are about to come off. I have quite a few thoughts on Mike Tyson.
Well, let us have it.
He's not on my list.
Not on any of them.
He's not on my list. I'll let you, so it's a
Dude, you got 3 lists, and all 3 of them you have Mike Tyson.
No. He's not on my top 5 list, and he's not even anywhere close to that.
You've compiled 3 top 5 lists, and you don't have him on one of them.
No. Those are the 3 categories how I was looking at it. So I didn't have 3 top 5 lists.
Okay, right.
No, so let me give a little spiel about Mike Tyson. So first of all, I don't know if you guys watch Mike Tyson's podcast. I love watching his podcast. I actually think a lot of that stuff is profound. I really do. However, do you know the famous line that he said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched? Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of people like repeating that line. Joe Rogan, I know he was like repeating that line. Mm-hmm. I actually don't find that profound. I actually find it kind of defeatist. And let me kind of support that argument. So a couple of anecdotes. The first one was Evander Holyfield. I was listening Evander Holyfield talk. He frequently talks about his mom, how the mom was inspiration. So he was saying one time, her philosophy was like, if they hit you, you hit them back. And to me, I actually find that more profound, like philosophical take than Mike Tyson's. And the other one, it's really damning, but I truly believe that because, we were talking about the cerebral guys and stuff like that, is what Teddy Atlas was talking about him. So, Teddy Atlas used to train him early on, and I think they had like a falling out. So he said something that, I don't know, he was talking to Joe Rogan. That was the episode I was looking at, and he was saying
Teddy Atlas.
Talking to Joe Rogan, and he's like, he didn't know the record on top of his head, but he said, like, say Mike Tyson's record is 50-5. So I really think his record is 0-5. And let me tell you why I think that is. He basically is saying, in 50 wins, he was superior to all those boxers. But in the 5 losses, when the fight was taken to him, he didn't know what to do. Tyson when he says, everybody's got a plan to get punched, well, it's antithesis to Evander Holyfield's call, right? Then you punch them back. And the story that Teddy Atlas says, it falls in with that quote. It's philosophically, they fall the same. That's to me, I know everybody looks at his physical specimen. It's unbelievable, no denying that.
Everyone has, you know, everyone has their own right to their own opinion. So
I disagree. He does not have a right to that opinion.
Well, okay, well,
okay.
What's your thoughts?
Because I had him as number 2.
Okay.
Spoiler.
Okay.
I had him higher.
Yes.
Based on pure skill, and I understand what you're saying, and now I'm going to tell you why I disagree. Because as soon as he got, well, even before he got married, when he met Robin, whatever the heck her name was.
Yes.
The wife.
Givens?
Givens.
Robin Givens. He was not a very well-educated, very well-adjusted person. Just generally. Forget about the violence and all that. Just, like, if you put him in the middle of the woods, he's going to wind up in the fetal position, scared out of his mind. I don't think he's mentally equipped to turn on a dime kind of thing. Like, he's just not, he never got that nurturing. Like, he just knows, go forward. Do the, you know, Cus D'Amato was the best match for him.
Yes.
Because Cus caught him young. Cus was an older man. He's like, look, this is what you're going to do. This is why you're going to do it. Yes, sir. Boom. Went and did it. As soon as he was more free to kind of like have his own thoughts, his thoughts went right off the rail.
Hey, George.
I mean, he was a nightmare.
George, I think you're making my point. I think that's.
Did you watch any of his fights from the mid '80s? I mean, really. I mean, I'm not talking about after he had the title, before he had the title.
You know, like I said, there's no denying it. I saw how short they were. I saw that stuff. There's no denying his.
Dude, you can't even see his hands.
Yes.
He's landed 7 punches before you can even like acknowledge that he's in the ring.
You know, physical specimen. Physical specimen.
He's an amazing, gifted boxer. A lot of great skill.
I encourage all of you to look at those fights. I'm sure there's links somewhere. Maybe you'll link up a fight or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, go look at the ones pre-title that lasted 3 rounds, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, and just watch his hand speed, his body motion, the way he's. I mean, he's all over the place. It's frightening.
I'm not debating that. Did you see when Holyfield punched him back?
Yeah, I agree.
Twice.
I agree with you. But I watched the first one where he bit his ear off, and I personally think Holyfield butted him a couple of times, more than a couple of times.
I think, you know, to me, that's all part of the mental kind of weakness.
Yeah,
so cheating and busting somebody open is okay?
You know, I mean,
as long as it's Mike Tyson.
No, well...
What do you think?
He's
number 3 on your list.
I don't remember. Well, I remember the ear biting, but I don't remember.
It's hard to not remember.
Wait, did the guy...
probably headbutted him, but I don't remember, so I can't really say much.
Was it the guy who flew into the ring as well? That was the Holyfield Tyson?
No. That was...
testing my memory here.
It's not... It was it Lennox Lewis?
Lennox Lewis was, yeah.
And the other guy that like lasted a little while, he was 6'5". He had a very square, almost scrunched up face. You know what I mean? I can't think of his name right now. Help us out in the comment section, please. We're in trouble here. Yeah, maybe we should talk about this for a second.
Well, you know, Chateauneuf-Du-Pape, the most famous village in southern Rhone. It's the Grenache-based blends. There's, you know, Grenache kind of gives the fruit to the wine. Syrah gives the structure to the wine. I think, you know, fantastic full-bodied wine for discussion about boxing.
Yeah, it kind of looks like blood.
Well, the whole wine looks like blood, but I think...
I don't know. Some of them are brighter than others.
Yeah.
Well, look, I'll do everybody a favor and cover my face. There you go.
You have a nice face. Nice boxer's face.
Easy. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so
who's my number 3? Let's see. I have to remember. Smokin' Joe Frazier. I have number 3.
Okay, that's a great one.
Okay? I picked Smokin' Joe because he had epic battles with Muhammad Ali, who I feel like is going to be on a lot of lists. even if it's not everybody's here, it's at least top 2 in almost every list I saw on the internet. Muhammad Ali had to essentially beat this man to death in the ring to win, and vice versa. You know, so those battles were just ridiculous. 2 different styles. You know, Joe Frazier kind of had that. I mean, much more complete, but he had that squat like Mike Tyson kind of build, where he was coming in, body shots, hard hooks, hard uppercuts. You know, really punishing his opponent. And you know, we'll talk about Muhammad Ali. I feel like in a minute. So I'm smoking Joe Frazier. Number 3.
He's not on my list, but he's fantastic. And you know, I was mentioning I like Marvin Hagler more than Leonard, even though I had him lower on the list.
Lower,
It's the same thing. I love Joe Frazier.
Is he on your list?
No, he's not on my list. I think he's a great fighter. I think frequently he was smaller than some of the guys he fought. And obviously he lost some battles. I mean, the record, I think, you know, there's not going to be Chuck number 1. I think, I wouldn't be surprised all 3 of us have the same guy as number 1.
I would think so.
But
I don't know, maybe not. Joe Frazier's really good. You know, again, it's one of those, like, you only have 5 people.
I don't know.
Thrilling in Manila. I mean, we're talking about one of the top
greatest
5 fights of all time, right?
That's one of the reasons. You know, I mean, if you think about those battles between him and Ali, and him and Ken Norton. I mean, think about the heavyweight division in the mid '70s.
That was
amazing.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean,
a lot of those are really, really great fighters.
Yeah, and they were going 15 back then. There was no 12-round nonsense. I mean, they were knocking the snot out of each other, and you know.
I mean, what was that? Was it against Ali Frazier where they were down to the last one of these, like, I don't know, 14 or 15, and Ali was about to give up, but then, like, I guess Frazier just, like, gave up first.
That was the exhausting fight, right?
Yeah.
It basically kind of...
Well, because it was like 120 degrees, because they're in freaking Manila, for God's sakes. I mean, it was a nightmare. Yeah, that's... So, Joe Frazier for me, number 3.
Number 3, all right, so we jump to number 2?
Number 2, right?
It's my turn?
I think so.
All right, guys, this is the controversial...
This is your show. I'm just here because I was around.
All right, so this is
good for the wire.
Guys,
he's here for the wire.
Pretty controversial.
Okay.
All right, so mine is Tyson. The Gypsy King.
Oh, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I don't think that's on any of the top 25 lists that I've seen. There's a couple of things that stood out. Obviously, it's a guy that we see, you know, fighting currently, and to me, he fits that mold of being both cerebral, unbelievably big, but also taking advantages of the other boxers' weaknesses or not. So the first fight, when I watched him against Klitschko, when Klitschko was, I think, leading the heavyweight division for like 10 years. It was almost embarrassing because Klitschko was afraid to punch him because he didn't know where Fury's punches would be coming from.
Yeah, but I think that Klitschko at that point had checked out. Like,
I think
he had the strap, but I don't think he really wanted to fight anymore.
Well, he didn't want to fight him in
that
fight.
that way. You know what I mean?
You might be right. You might be right. And, you know, obviously the Deontay Wilder fights.
Oh, those were epic.
That's some serious stuff.
So when he got knocked out and stood up like Lazarus, you know, getting up from the dead.
Long count, maybe.
Well,
yeah, it was long count. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
You know, I don't. You know, maybe. But I thought I thought he psychologically destroyed Wilder for the next 2 fights. I think Wilder knew at that point he ain't beating Fury. I think he mentally got in Wilder's head. And remember, during the second fight, everybody was saying like, "Oh, Wilder lost because he was carrying that heavy equipment.
I do remember
his
that.
legs were tired." No, he was tired because Fury was beating his butt.
Yeah,
that's why he was.
Styles, you know, styles make fights. You know, we always hear that. But you know, Wilder, Fury. I mean, those were really great fights.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, what do you guys think? I mean, I'm sure they're not at number 2 on your list. So I mean, there's got to be some kind of pushback.
I consider them though. I mean, again, I think they're a victim of era in my grading system.
Yes.
Again, I don't, like we were talking about off camera. I feel like the stigma behind head injuries in both football and in boxing, you know, shies a lot of these people away.
Yeah.
And MMA is a lot less bullshit. Excuse my language. but it just is. You know, Dana White makes the fights. There's no, 16 promoters and all this other nonsense. So I feel like the true combat athletes are not in boxing anymore. As much as I think those guys, both of those guys, are really, really good fighters, I just think the competition is the two of them and everybody else.
But there's still a lot of good fights that should have been made.
Yes.
Even before let's say Anthony Joshua, before all that Usyk stuff and Andy Ruiz, like, he should have fought like some of these other
Fury.
Yeah, he should have fought.
Yeah,
Fury.
but how do you know how good some of these guys are if they're dodging?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
right.
saying. Is
Right,
that all that dodging is that's why a lot of the like it's kind of hard to watch.
Yes.
Boxing, like I'd pay to watch Deontay Wilder and then Tyson Fury 4.
Yeah.
Just because there's some action there. Deontay always has that one right hand.
Yeah.
Like I think his comeback fight, that was amazing. I like how many seconds he knocked the guy out, just one shot.
Yeah.
Like like that. Like you could change the game with one shot. Like you could be trailing the whole time. That's like why it's exciting.
Great chin, right? That was the ultimate great chin take in boxing. When Wilder hit him with that punch, and then when he got up and Fury got up, Wilder, it's over.
It was over.
I know.
Yeah, so
in that moment, it was done. You're right.
He got
because he hit him square. I mean, that was his best punch. Or close to it.
Yeah, I mean, with the 12-second if we ignore the extra couple of seconds,
but
at least he still got up. And no. I mean, fair. I'm not like I'm just trying.
I agree with you, but by the same token, I don't think he expects him to get up in an 18 count.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But he's a great heavyweight. I just don't know because all this dodging. Anytime somebody it's just like picking fights. That's not the way it should be. There's a lot of talk, too much talk. Either I don't know where the issue is, whether it's the promoters, whether it's the boxers.
You got 18 different championship belts running around.
Exactly. Now you have four legitimate belts plus a few others.
So what do you guys say? So I might be missing something. So I know that Joshua and Fury was that was the fight that somebody wanted to hype up. So you're saying that Fury dodged Joshua?
No, I don't know.
Because I don't know the narrative. I really don't.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like those things should not happen.
Yeah.
You have these fights. You have these boxers. You have these belts. You just got to go fight. So it's a lot of business. Yeah. It's just all business.
So you're almost saying that the last 2 decades it's kind of questionable the way the promoters were running the fights.
Right, and that's why Julio Ceasar Chaves 89-0 or whatever.
Yes.
Like that's a real 89-0.
Yes.
Versus maybe 40, 50-0.
I was going to say, be careful because those promoters were pretty unscrupulous.
And there are a lot of boxers out there that are really exciting. You go watch them, the young ones that, just are out there to just fight.
It's like they don't fall into the tough guys, my tough guys category. Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Professional athletes in general is like, why are they, why are people, bashing me about X, Y, Z? I'm just a person. Yeah. Well,
no,
the regular Joe's not getting paid $40 million a year, $30 million a year, right? And so, what do you think comes with $30-40 million a year?
That's the older generation called it the young generation soft. I mean, Charles Barkley calls a lot of the NBA players that way.
Well, he's right.
Yes.
Comparatively, he's right.
You see the bad boy Pistons.
I was just going to say, anyone want to go with Bill Laimbeer? You just let me know. Or Patrick Ewing when he came out of college. Go deal with him for a little while.
Well, Isaiah Thomas was punching Bill Laimbeer, and they were teammates.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so where are we at? Number 2?
No, so you're right.
Yes. My number 2, and this probably will be controversial. Just trying to gauge where the where the rankings are going. Be Muhammad Ali. Number 2.
You better have one hell of a number 1.
Yeah, somebody you don't know about.
Wow.
So
why number 2?
I will say Muhammad Ali is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Mm-hmm. It's the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Yes.
Undisputed. Without a doubt. I think Muhammad Ali is the greatest heavyweight of all time. We've talked about it. Thrill in the Rumble in the Jungle. And all these legendary and plus all the other things that he did outside boxing, like you don't even count those.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of these fights, it's just real boxing. You know, very hard to say. You know, very hard to see anything wrong. Like, you know, those are the days where it's really, you know, like the height of boxing. Just amazing.
Imagine if he didn't get stripped.
Yeah.
How many years would he have held that title, and how many asses would he have kicked?
Right.
You know, a ton of them. It's amazing.
I'm guessing those are your number one.
Yeah. So spoiler. So number 2 is controversial. Number 1 is uncontroversial as I think possible. So I would just throw in. So obviously I revealed number 1 here. But Rope-a-Dope is a work of genius. That's the number 1 on my list because I was talking about like taking any challenge, and we're talking about the best heavyweights of all time. We're fighting that era.
Turning on a dime kind of thing.
And he was much younger. Right. I mean, I watched that replay of that so many times, and Rope-a-Dope is a genius. What a tactic. Unbelievable.
Oh, Mike Tyson, number 2.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, so you had number 2 already, yes.
Mike Tyson, number 2. Mike Tyson, number 2.
All right, so, okay.
For all the reasons I said, just the ferocity, the hand speed, the power. Again, I grant you, you're absolutely right. Post-jail, the second, you know, post-jail, he was a different guy. Up until the time that Customato got sick, he was a different fighter. Once Customato died and, you know, what's his name? The manager. Don King got more power in his career. I just feel like he lost his way, lost his ferocity, and he was just beating people on his reputation. So I agree completely. And yeah, number 2. There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, we discussed it. To me, you know, Teddy Atlas anecdote, which I believe is pretty damning.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But I think Teddy Atlas had an agenda too because he got fired.
As we're talking, and I'm sipping this wine, man, it has a long finish. What a fantastic wine to sip on as we're having long discussions.
It's tricky too because when I nosed it, when I sniffed it, it had a little bit of a raisin on the nose, but it is a lot of acid on the palate.
Not unusual for Chateauneuf-Du-Pape. Yeah. Hot region and high alcohol, so it's not unusual, but yeah, beautiful acidity.
Yeah, but I don't feel a whole lot of alcohol. Like, I don't feel like it's burning. But it definitely has a whole lot more acid on the palate.
What, 14?
14.5, which is not bad for Chateauneuf-Du-Pape.
Yeah, that's almost the baseline.
Yeah.
No, that's a good wine.
It gets better too.
Yes. As it's opening up.
Yes, it's opening up.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't give it a fair shake in terms of opening it up. I mean, we just opened it and
what's a great anecdote, you know, people always ask me, hey, should I let this air it out? Like, we're talking here for extended time, and it's opening up, as we discussed, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you're really going to taste the wine to taste it, 2 hours is the minimum. You want to decant something. I mean, that's not super old.
So, Cliff will have to take 3 or 4 bottles home after this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Well, now you got them all liquored up, so you know, just take his wallet
like 5, 6,
charge
7.
them. Just charge them. That's fine. All right. So who's your number 1?
Number 1. All right. So this is controversial.
I feel like I'm going to be angry. I don't know why.
No, this is fun.
I don't know. Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah. Ooh, good. Yeah. Real good.
Yeah.
I really dug deep. You know, it's weird because it's, you know, obviously I've watched a lot more Muhammad Ali, you know, Mike Tyson, you know, but it's just, well, thank God, like YouTube and all the, like, you get to watch a lot of these old fights, and it's also interesting, like, not a lot of the early fights. He fit 200 fights, but you know, like
over 200, I think. Right?
Yeah. I think he ended exactly at 200.
Oh, 200, right?
Maybe it's like 173.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, 26.
That's a lot of fights. That's a lot of fights.
Yeah. But a lot of that also, a lot of the losses are the back end. I think he had like 30, 40 something, and then a loss, then like a 91 win streak, and then like 1 loss. I think he retired after that. And then, you know, like, I mean, that's just a crazy number of fights.
Yeah, that's a lot of fights.
But if you've seen these fights, it's just amazing. One of those fights, I think was getting beat up. It was like the 9th round. He got cut by a headbutt. And the referee was like, oh, that cut's like really terrible. I'm going to go stop the fight. And he was like, well, you know, give me 1 more round. And then you can stop the fight.
Yeah.
He goes out there, knocks the guy out.
After the AIDS thing became prevalent, 1 little cut, and all of a sudden, ring the bell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, you know, it's probably for the longevity of the fighter, but again, this goes, and again, may not be a popular, but, you know, like some of these guys are going to be 20, 30, 40 million dollars per fight. And, you know, it's one of these, like, yeah, nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. It's boxing, right? There's, you know, back then they weren't playing for a lot of money.
No, but the judges were crooked back then.
Oh, but the judges were crooked back then.
I mean, they were as crooked. They were as crooked, if not
and the
more.
stinger. Remember the stinger?
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it is true that you should, like, really have, you know, no time limit, and
Yes.
until somebody, it's either you quit or you get knocked out. You know, somebody throws in the towel, which is fine.
Yes.
Somebody, you know, your corner throws in the towel.
You know, it's funny what you're interested in. So there's a lot of these guys come from backgrounds that I think fighting is the way, that's the only way they can get out of
it. Yeah.
You're mentioning Julio Chavez. Julio Chavez's son threw in his own towel. Here's a guy who grew up with a lot of money.
Yeah.
A little punch, he's like, oh, I'm done.
These are the risks of boxing.
For sure.
And,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, that's the purpose of the like, literally the definition is you're gonna punch each, you know, try to beat the other guy.
Yeah, it's the same thing in MMA.
It's
I mean,
right,
like,
in
well,
MMA, right? You know, but anyway, Sugar Ray Robinson. That's why it's like just these legendary. It's more like legendary tales, but you know, you see the fights. It's just a lot of skill.
So you went,
really
you watched on YouTube. You watched some of
I
that old
watched
footage.
a bunch of old footage
Yes.
of Sugar Ray. It was, I think that's, you know, it's just like real amazing. Like, you guys, if you guys haven't had a chance to watch, you guys should do. It's like just real.
I haven't
amazing.
watched it, and that's why he's not top 5. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, like, I thought about putting him on the list.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was so far back. I try to keep it, you know, aside from Rocky Marciano.
Same era as Joe Louis.
Yes. Yeah, I know, but I try to not do too much of that because it was a different sport back then.
I think Bleacher Report had him number 1, and I saw quite a few lists that had him top 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Muhammad Ali said he's the greatest boxer ever, and I think I thought about number 5. The reason I saw something on Joe Louis, I didn't see anything on Robinson, so I'm like, I can't put it on top 5. I mean, there's nothing to talk about.
That's not a bad choice at all. I can't. I thought I was gonna be mad. Now I'm not.
I'd rather be live. Basketball and football, I don't want to be live at all.
Me either.
That's terrible. That's so
awful.
boring. It's unbelievable. It's great on TV, but it's terrible in person.
I've never been to a football. Yeah, I've never been to a football game. I've been to a couple of, you know, maybe 4 or 5 baseball games. I mean, it was
The
like,
same. There
like,
or TV, the same.
I mean, if it was like,
No, I disagree. I disagree. It's different because you debate with the guys in the stand.
Oh, okay.
Like there's enough time in between action that you can kind of, like, if you have some cool
Right.
people around you, you can kind of, you know, start bouncing stuff off.
One of
each
them
other.
is like, it's boring being there. It's boring watching
Yeah,
on TV.
that's because
Like,
you know,
football is
I'm
super
sorry, it's not
boring,
soccer.
I think it was a great list. We're gonna list everybody's top 5 list in the description below. Please let us know what you think about our list. So a couple of controversial ones, I think, and big debates over Mike Tyson. I think that's probably the biggest controversy in this take here is I have a completely different take than you guys on Mike Tyson.
Well, we're right and you're wrong. It's really that simple.
Well, I wouldn't say it to his face. How about that? I wouldn't say I'll say it from a safe distance.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what is he? He's got to be 55, 60 years old.
Oh, he looks like he's in great
about
shape.
60. Yeah, forget about it. Whatever he's taking, I want some.
You can see some of the videos where he's still like training or something like that.
He's a beast.
Well, he had the match with Roy Jones Jr. and Roy Jones looked like he was scared.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah.
Like Igor said, leave a comment. You know, let us know where you think we went right, where you think we went wrong. Cliff, we're gonna get him a YouTube channel one of these days. Get him going.
There we go. But more importantly, the wine is great.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should come
Come
here.
down to Vinous Reverie. I'm sure you've been looking at it for like the last 40 minutes because I had it down on the Chiron.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll
leave in the description as well. Link to the
all
to
the
product
links will
page.
be in there for sure,
Yes,
right?
Yes. So, and thank you guys for joining me. I think this was a fantastic show.
Thanks for opening the wine and inviting me. That's for sure.
Thank
I mean,
you so
I just
much,
happened to
Igor.
wander in.
Amazing.
All right, we'll do more of these guys. So
All right.
this is fun.
So
All right.
Igor, Cliff, George, give it to us, Goat.
Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next time. All 3 of us. Bye, guys.
Where's your call? Do it.
The GOAT.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.